actually learned quite a few things this week from the article on listening to our listeners and our sermons. I was surprised to learn that 78% of parishioners have never discussed a sermon with their pastor. To me, that just means that as pastors or as preachers, we're not doing our job. They don't feel relational to us, and we need to work on the congregation feeling relational to us, because if they're not comfortable coming up to us talking about our sermons, they may not be comfortable with us at all. We also need to recognize the power of our words. Parishioners can go online and they can learn all sorts of things and get devotionals, but we need to recognize that they want to come hear us. God is speaking through us, and we make God relational. And that was kind of my ding dong moment. My words matter, and spiritual growth through the inspiration in our preaching is one of the phrases they use that was just like, wow. Even if I don't feel like I'm worthy, God is going to use me. God uses inadequate people. That's another thing that the article pointed out. And we need to remember that the congregation wants to be personal with us. They want a relationship with us. And if we don't have a relationship with that congregation, we don't know what to preach. And like if we were to preach a sermon today, and we just went and we talked about a Bible verse, and we didn't talk about the pandemic that is going on in our world, and how it is affecting our economy, and how these people could be out of jobs, we have to make it relational to our church to make them understand what we're talking about. The congregation wants to hear from us. God is talking through us, and God is using us. And the main thing I got is, it says that God uses inadequate people to do miraculous things. And how inadequate was Jonah? He was running from God. How inadequate am I? I was not raised Christian. I'm not a good example. I still cuss. I was raised cussing, and I can't break that habit no matter how much I try. But God still uses me, and people tell me that they see my faith through my illness, and God is using me. And people go to me and they ask me Bible verses, and somehow I always know those verses when I couldn't repeat them 10 minutes later. So God does use inadequate people, and that was just kind of a light bulb moment for me in the article. Two things that I think impede people from listening in church, and I say this all the time, is I think social media and our phones are our biggest impediment in church. I don't know how many times I will see people in church answering emails, texting while the sermon is going on, and it drives me insane. I wish we could just, when people go into church, take a basket and take their phones like we do at dinner, and you need to listen, but we can't do that. And I also think the social media is another impediment to people listening, because they want to get online and they want to listen to all these dramatic things on social media, and sometimes they're not true. And there's a lot of fake news, and people listen to it, and they listen to TV ministers, which just drives me insane. And I don't have to go to church, because I can get on TV or I can get online, and then this minister will heal me. And okay, that's me going down my pet peeve. But that's the main thing we need to remember, that if we're relational with our church, people are less likely to listen to all of the false information that is on the internet, and that is on us. We need to be prayerfully asking God for guidance. And I think this is what the article pointed out, that God is going to use us, and we need to know where our congregation is to listen. So I hope that all makes sense, and I hope you're staying safe. God bless.